What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Coach Black, your internet, relationship, and breakup coach. Today's topic: this is the exact moment that your ex will choose to come back to you. Now, if you spent the last few weeks or months feeling a lot of fear and anxiety because you're afraid that you will lose your ex permanently, especially if you do not do something to fix the relationship, I understand that feeling. See, in a lot of ways, you have invested into this person. You've invested into the relationship. You spent so much time building the pieces of your life together, almost like a castle of Legos. And your ex right now is acting like a toddler, and maybe they just kicked the Legos down. They destroyed this amazing castle that you put so much effort into designing and bringing into fruition. So those types of situations, when a breakup happens, can bring up a lot of feelings of resentment, frustration. And I totally get it. And it's so difficult to see a potential future where your ex is wanting to come back to you or to fix things. But all of that can change, provided you understand one core and an essential truth, which is tied to your value. And I'm going to explain it to you in this video. See, for those of you who do not know this, I spent most of my childhood being raised in Nigeria. And one of the most memorable things that I think about when I look back is my time shopping in the marketplace with my dad on Saturdays. See, my dad was a very hardworking man, and he's not with us currently, but one of the things I remember the most was he would put a lot of effort into providing for his family. We never had the nicest things or the fancy cars or the trips and vacations, but there was always food on the table, no matter what. And a lot of the reason for this is because my dad was a very frugal dude. And so when we would go shopping in the Nigerian marketplace, it was always fascinating to see him haggle and negotiate when he was trying to buy anything. It didn't matter what it was. And so picture me as, 6 or 7 year old just following my dad, and let's say he's trying to buy soap and the seller is like, "Oh, it's $5." And he's like, "Oh, you're insane. This is something I bought last week for $3. Now we're out in the hot summer sun, and I'm wondering why we're even doing this. And there was a lot of posturing and a lot of back and forth and words and insults flying from one party to the other, but it was never disrespectful. It was like this ancient dance that both parties kind of understood, and they were participating with each other. It's a totally different experience from going to shop at Walmart or something like that. But I'll put pictures in the description if you're interested to see what a Nigerian marketplace looks like. But what I remember my dad would always say is, until the seller was willing to completely walk away and literally say, "Look, I'm not going to deal with you. You've lost your mind." Until they were willing to do that, he felt that you haven't really reached the true and fair market value of that item. And a lot of times that's exactly what would happen. They would be willing to walk away. And that's when my dad would finally come back and the two parties would make a deal. Like I said, kind of like an ancient dance where there was mutual respect and both parties got what they desired and they felt like they were being treated fairly. Now, a lot of life in a lot of ways is very similar, because there's a saying that goes, in life you don't get what you deserve, you only get what you negotiate. And if currently you're feeling frustrated because you just want to show your ex how much you can do for them, how much you can help make their life better. And you're still calling them and texting them to prove that you only mean them well. And I'm sure that you do. The problem is your ex is not going to believe you. They're going to constantly take you for granted, because if you were so special, why are you groveling? Why are you begging? Why are you chasing me? Something about that doesn't line up. Something about that makes you suspicious. So I want you to think back on the relationship. You likely did so much for them. You likely added a lot of value to their life. And right now, they're not thinking about that. They're not remembering that. But it doesn't take away the value of who you are. And you should never forget this. You were created that way. You were created as a person of value. And you should never compromise that for your ex, because if you do, it's almost the reason why they don't want you. Because we all want to be with someone who is a catch. We all want to be with the cheerleader or the captain of the football team. We want to be with someone who has self-respect. I want you to think about this for 1 second. Let's say you were walking down the street and I approached you. I said, hey, I'm going to give you $1,000. But the condition of me giving you this money is I want you to offer it up to other people. I'm going to give you 10 $100 bills. You walk up to people and you say, here. And if they choose not to take it, you can keep the money for yourself. And so you start approaching people. You say, hey, here's a $100 bill. The first person takes it. Let's say you approach the next person, hey, but they're a little bit skeptical. And you're like, no, seriously, here's a $100 bill. But they choose to walk away. See, in that moment, you wouldn't be angry. You wouldn't be frustrated, because it is their loss. What you're offering them is something special. You're offering them something that will likely help make their life better. But just because they don't see it does not change the value of the $100 bill. And so you walk away without anger, without frustration, because you know you're still retaining this value for yourself. See, your ex will never come to a place of completely knowing that they've lost out on something special if this special thing is constantly knocking on their door. That's not the way expensive or exclusive or important things behave. It's usually the other way around. People chase and people work for things of value. It's not being constantly offered to you for free. See, the thing is, it's only people who are offering you a bad deal. It's only people who want to give you something that is less than what you're paying for it. It's only those types of people that stay and chase and try to convince you, because they know that even if you take what they're selling, they are the ones that are cheating you. They are the ones that are getting the better deal. So you should not act like that. You should be behaving totally different. Okay. Here's one last anecdote I want to share with you. I was talking with one of my clients last week, and his ex broke up with him about 3 months ago. And he had spent the first month trying to convince her and trying to talk to her. But she wasn't budging. She didn't care. She wanted to go do her own thing. Eventually, he went no contact and completely pulled away. Started to work on himself, get in the gym, work out, focus on his career. And he was sharing some of these things on social media. And after about 3 months, she finally reached out to him. They start having a conversation. They start to open up to each other, and they're having a heart-to-heart, which of course is not textbook of how you should be doing things, but they're having a heart-to-heart. And she's like, I dated someone else in the time we were apart. And after about a month or so of dating them, I started to see all of the same patterns, all of the same issues, all of the same things that I complained about in our relationship. And I realized that it was not your fault. a lot of it was me. A lot of it was my own traumas and insecurities that I was projecting onto you. And he started to open up and he said, you know what? I've actually currently been dating someone else myself. And I don't know where it's gonna go, but we're not exclusive currently and we're just taking things slow. And she lost it. She was upset. How could you do this? I can't believe you moved on. I can't believe you're seeing someone else. And what was interesting is that he had spent the first month chasing her, trying to get her to stay. But the moment someone else was appreciating the value that she walked away from, she realized that she lost something special. Now she was fighting for the relationship. Can you cut this person off? Can we work on things? Now, hear me closely. I'm not telling you to intentionally try to make your ex jealous. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is until your ex can actually see tangibly by your willingness to not deal with them, kind of like the example that I said with, shopping in the marketplace with my father. Until you're willing to completely turn your back to them, they will not believe you because you're offering them all of these perks, all of this certainty, all of this love for nothing in return. But as soon as you walk away and someone else appreciates your value, your ex really knows, they really get to see that perhaps they are the ones that made a mistake. So as hurtful as it might be right now, and I know it's a completely emotional thing, it's hard to actually do this. I totally get that. But your value does not change just because your ex is forgetting your value. And if you're a good person, which I'm guessing you are, for the mere fact that you're watching this video and you're trying to fight and advocate for the relationship, I'm sure that you really did offer them value. You have to trust in that. You have to believe in everything that you've already done and poured into this person, that they will eventually see what you've been trying to show them. But it's not your place right now to try to convince them and make them see. That just doesn't work with people. Actions always speak louder than words. You must be willing to turn away from this person because you are negotiating. And the strongest position you can take in anything that you're negotiating is your willingness to walk away. And when you do that, the person will likely come back because they know that you are just speaking and standing up for yourself because you're a person of value. And ultimately, it's a win-win. Because like I said, your ex wants to be with someone of value. They want to fall in love and stay with someone that is special. And they've already experienced the perks in the past. You've had them in love with you in the past. So they're not going to forget this. So forget about the fears. Cast them to the side right now. A lot of times those fears are just irrational. Never forget your value, and your ex will soon remember what they lost. Anyway, if you have any thoughts or comments you want to share, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section below. Be sure to like this video if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, the quickest way to do so is to click the first link in the description and we can talk about your situation. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.